Tonight on the Local Live, thousands affected by Trump's immigration ban, including some in our area. A fire rips through a Shore Acres home. Amor Hecho Pedazos, the Mamaroneck Lego telenovela, premieres this Valentine's Day at the Community Resource Center. The Emlyn Theater screens Manchester by the Sea, this and more during our In the Media segment. Chef Nick DeBona, winner of Food Network's Chop, tells us why Madison Kitchen is the best Valentine date option. And for your Valentine, you cannot go wrong with chocolates. Our own Maral Kathwari spotlights Chocolations. This Sunday, Hearts and Homes for Refugees of Larchmont and Mamaroneck will be marching in support of local refugees. They'll be in studio to talk those details. Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, February 10th. I'm Kat Galliano, and welcome to the Local Live. Thousands all over the country are being affected by Donald Trump's immigration ban, including New Rochelle resident Mohammed Al-Hamsi. He told the Journal News that he was expecting his wife's arrival so they could remarry and celebrate the reunion and their brand new home. But now their plans are on hold. The executive order Trump signed would prevent citizens from Iraq, Syria, Sudan, Libya, Somalia, and Yemen from entering the U.S. for 90 days. The order was met with protests, and the State Department and Department of Homeland Security have honored a federal court decision in Washington state that lifted the travel ban. And as of yesterday, a U.S. appeals court refused to reinstate Trump's ban on travelers from the 7 Muslim-majority nations. The New York Times also said an appeal to the Supreme Court is likely. An early morning fire ripped through an abandoned Mamaroneck home Saturday. Around 50 firefighters battled the blaze for an hour to get it under control. Thankfully, there were no injuries. Fire Chief Craig Castorella told LOHUD the single-family home at 947 Shore Acres Drive was fully engulfed. No one had been living there for years, and some of the utilities had been shut off. The cause of the fire is under investigation. For a unique Valentine's Day treat, don't miss Amor Hecho Pedazos, premiering at 7 p.m. at the Community Resource Center at 174 Center Avenue in Mamaroneck. This Lego novela, or soap opera with Legos, is in Spanish with English subtitles. It has everything from drama to passion to evil twins. Producing and writing this Lego novela has been a labor of love for Dina Schumacher. The project took more than 18 months and 100 hours of stop animation. He was inspired by the lack of Spanish language content for the community. If you can find it online, you can find it right here in the media. Here's Suzanne Rothberg with the trending stories.
Team registration is now open for the 5th annual Larchmont Spelling Bee. This annual event is a tradition that you don't want to miss. You can register online at friendsoflarchmontlibrary.org/spelling bee. Entry forms are also available at the Larchmont Library front desk. The actual spelling bee will take place at Larchmont Temple on April 2nd. More details are available in the loop. Mamaroneck residents are filing an appeal against Ralph's Italian Ices and Ice Cream, which has been the subject of a lengthy zoning appeal. The reason being the residents are dissatisfied with the review by the village's land use boards. The village building inspector has indicated that the shop is not required to seek additional variances. For the full story, check out the Mamaroneck Review. The Patch reports that it's not too late to get the flu shot. With Westchester being at the height of the flu season, the flu vaccine is the best defense against the flu. Free flu vaccines are available in White Plains and Yonkers. February marks the 2-year anniversary of the MTA train collision that killed 6 people in 2015 in Valhalla, including Edgemont resident Ellen Brody, while her vehicle got stuck on the train tracks. Officials demand more safety measures need to be in place. Visit FiOS1News.com for more information. According to News12.com, police recovered the body of an 80-year-old man in the water that was pulled at Glen Island Park in New Rochelle on February 4th after he was discovered by his son. The victim managed the boatyard at the yacht club for 30 years. The official cause of death is still unknown. And finally, the Emmelyn Theater will host a screening of the Oscar-nominated film Manchester by the Sea on February 16th, 18th, and 19th. Visit emmelyn.org for further details. If you could find it online, you could find it in the media. I'm Suzanne Rothberg.
Now it's time for local trivia, but when we come back, we'll talk to members of Hearts and Homes for Refugees of Larchmont and Mamaroneck.
I'm Maura Carlin. We're talking resettling refugees in Westchester with Jamal Wilson of Hearts and Homes for Refugees, Larchmont, Mamaroneck. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us what Hearts and Homes is.
Hearts and Homes for Refugees, Larchmont, Mamaroneck is an organization of individuals, mostly from Larchmont, Mamaroneck, but a few from Rye and some from New Rochelle. We started only a few months ago, mid-November, forming with the express purpose of being able to host a refugee family right here in our community.
There aren't any refugees presently settled around here.
Correct. The refugee agencies that work in refugee resettlement only recently got clearance from the State Department to start settling refugees here in Westchester County. So this is a new venture.
So you start this venture and then the immigration order comes down from the president. How has that affected your mission?
That was a shock. I guess in some ways, once we recovered from the shock of that executive order and what it meant for the thousands of people who were ready to get on a plane, it kind of lit a fire under us. And even some of us, like myself, who are not necessarily comfortable in the activist role, decided we can't be silent. We can't just sit down and take this. We have to stand up. We have to make our voices heard, and we have to keep fighting for these people.
And you're having a march and rally this weekend. Why don't you tell us about that?
We are. This Sunday, beginning at 2 o'clock, we are gathering in Flint Park near the American Legion site, meeting at the Cannon. And we're going to gather and march down the Boston Post Road to Kemper Memorial Park. And at that point, we will have a rally with some wonderful speakers, and we're going to let our voices be heard. This rally is all about the refugees.
And some of your speakers are our local politicians. I believe you have State Senator George Latimer and County Legislator Catherine Parker.
We do. They've been very generous to give their time and lend their voices in support of this issue.
Now, refugees it's been difficult to get refugees settled in America in the sense of Americans aren't always so welcoming. Why is that historically?
That's a good question. You know, I can only imagine that through the generations, people get here and they get comfortable with the way things are, and they start to feel like, okay, this is the way it needs to stay. This is our normal, and this is what we need to hang on to. And then a new group comes in, and somehow people feel threatened by what's different, what's strange. And it takes maybe a generation for that next group to get incorporated and enculturated and accepted. And then the next group comes, and we start the process all over again. I guess it's part of normal human behavior to be afraid of people who are different. I wish that we were learning and that we didn't have to go through this process every time.
Well, this one is a little different because people are actually afraid of ISIS and people who are, inspired by ISIS. What can you say to them? Your rally is actually called, I think, "Fight Fear with Facts." What are the facts that show that they shouldn't be afraid?
Well, I think probably the most comforting fact is to educate ourselves about what our vetting process really is. This vetting process that has served us well for years, and there's no evidence to support this notion that the vetting process is somehow insufficient. It has been protecting us. We have no terrorist attacks perpetrated by refugees in this country all these years. Our vetting process is a very different process than anything that's happened in Europe. People point to what's happened in European countries and say this could happen here. It's a completely different process.
How long does it take? I mean,
18 months, 2 years, sometimes even up to 3 years, because they have so many different levels of vetting, from the UNHCR, which first recommends them.
what is that? I'm sorry.
The UN High Commissioner on Refugees has to first recommend them to our State Department. They're vetted by various parts of the FBI, the State Department, Homeland Security, and they go through the level of vetting is substantial. Some of our politicians are calling for extreme vetting. It's already extreme.
People have images, from Europe of, masses of people crossing borders. That's not what's happening?
No, that's not what's happening. People come in one family at a time. They are vetted. They come in family by family. I can't speak to exact numbers of how many come in on any given week, but this is not mass migration. These are people who are carefully chosen, people who are going to do well here, people who are going to become Americans, people who are going to thrive here and be contributing members of our society.
And what kind of support does your group hope to give?
Well, it's called wraparound support, and we do everything from helping. We meet the family at the airport. We help them get settled in their new homes. We help get the children settled into school. We help them get hooked up with their medical team, all of the social service that they're entitled to by the government, and eventually help them find jobs, because they are going to be self-supporting. They're required by the State Department to pay back the loan they take for their airfare. So they need to become self-supporting, and we help them do all of that. We promise to support them both financially, partially, and emotionally for a year. So they come, they're not just dropped off and says, good luck. We give them a lot of support.
Well, before we go, I'd like you to again remind everyone about your march and rally and how people can get involved if they want to.
Well, join us. Come and join us at Flint Park. We're going to start marching at 2, so come a little early, bring your signs. This march is about one issue and one issue only. This is about refugees. So your other issues, as much as we may support them and agree with them, this march is about refugees. So come and stand with us, march with us and hear the speeches, and join the fight. Keep the torch alive.
And they can find you on Facebook?
They can.
Why don't you tell what to look for?
Hearts and Homes for Refugees, Larchmont, Mamaroneck. Check out our Facebook page and join us.
Jamel Wilson, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
This week in sports, the Mamaroneck girls basketball team punched its tickets to the playoffs with a big win over East Ramapo. Following a slow start, the Tigers got an instant spark at the start of the second in the LMC Varsity Sports Play of the Week.
Tigers have possession, trailing by 4. Gutierrez, and now they're trailing by 1. James gets it away, wins the race to it. James puts it up, and the Tigers now in front. As a quick 5-point swing in 30 seconds for Mamaroneck. and they suddenly lead 8-7 going into
This week, the Local Live went to Madison Kitchen in Larchmont and met with celebrity chef Nick DeBona, the winner of Food Network's Chopped TV show in 2013. He opened his restaurant for us and revealed what he is preparing for Valentine's Day. With Valentine's Day right around the corner, I decided to take myself out on a date right here at Madison Kitchen. Delicious. Located at 7 Madison Avenue in Larchmont, Madison Kitchen stands out not only in their location, but in their dishes. We spoke to Nick DeBona, owner, head chef, and winner of Food Network's Chopped TV show, about his one great love, food.
Well, I mean, I think like anything, you just have to have a passion for what you do. I'm automatically drawn to food. This is who I am. I literally express myself through food. It's funny. You know, my father's from Italy. I grew up with food. Food was like a big thing in our house, and it just I got stuck with it.
When Chef DeBona isn't busy making up new recipes, he's creating different kinds of homemade ice creams and milkshakes, which he calls Bona Bona, a play on his last name.
We've been open for 3.5 years now, and from day one, I was making homemade ice cream here. It got recognized from the New York Times when we got reviewed. The very last sentence in the review was how good the ice cream is. So I saw that and I ran with it, and I started branding my own ice cream. And you know, milkshakes were trending and they were all the news, so I started making milkshakes here, and it just kind of blew up.
If you're still undecided on where to take your Valentine, Madison Kitchen is the place for you. With a special menu available for the occasion, it's a perfect place to eat your heart out.
So yeah, I would just like to welcome everybody to the restaurant to enjoy our Valentine's Day menu. Valentine's Day is on Tuesday, but we are celebrating with our prefix menu from Saturday. We're closed Sunday, so Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday, we will be offering our Valentine's Day shake, our Valentine's Day pasta, as well as other things that are on our prefix.
For someone as accomplished as Chef DeBona, I asked what advice he'd give to those wanting to pursue a culinary career.
I think you just have to follow your heart, you know. If you want to do something, you just gotta strive and do it.
For Chef Nick DeBona, food is not his passion, food is his life. And we leave here as superfans. For the Local Live, I'm Kat Galliano. That milkshake was incredibly delicious, just needed to tell you that. And also for this Valentine's Day, don't underestimate the power of chocolate. Our own Maral Kathwari yielded to temptation at Chocolations.
Valentine's Day is fast approaching, and now is the time to show your loved ones how much they mean to you by giving them beautiful decor chocolate. Chocolations in Mamaroneck can fulfill all your chocolate needs. Hey guys, I'm here at Chocolations, located at 607 East Boston Post Road. I'm here with owner Maria Valente. Maria, could you start off by telling me where you got the idea to open up this amazing chocolate shop?
Well, I had been making chocolate from home as a hobby. I started when my kids were babies. They're not babies anymore. They're actually in their 30s now. And I just loved doing it and always hoped that one day I could turn it into a career. And here I am.
From artisan truffles to chocolate-covered Oreos and strawberries, it's the best place to buy your Valentine an amazing gift that they can devour. Owner Maria spoke of her many unique treats and specialties that she can offer her customers.
Valentine's Day is all about truffles and strawberries. We're going to be doing chocolate-covered strawberries. We will be dipping them only on Valentine's Day. I'm very strict about my strawberries. I insist that people eat them the day I dip them. So I will take orders for them ahead of time, but you are going to come and get them on Valentine's Day if you want them. We're a little more lenient with truffles and bark. You can get those ahead of time for sure. We also will make a beautiful box out of chocolate for a really special gift that we can fill with truffles.
After hearing about the heart-shaped boxes, I decided to join in on the fun and customize my own box for my Valentine this year. Chocolations has many stuffed animals and other candies if your Valentine happens to be a non-chocolate lover, and they have items for other special events too.
Chocolations is definitely a great place to come to buy your loved one a gift this Valentine's Day. Hopefully I'm pretty stocked up for all my loved ones. Have a happy Valentine's Day. Reporting for the Local Live, I'm Marala Katwari.
We have two amazing pets for you this week that are looking for their forever home. Miles is a 5-year-old tuxedo cat who is sweet and friendly but sometimes shy. He loves his friend Pansy and is looking to be adopted with her or alone. And then we have Red, who is an adult dog that loves to hang out with his human friends. He will alert you when there's someone at the door, but also enjoys a quiet space for a home. For more information on how to adopt Miles and Red, browse other adorable pets, go to www.ny-petrescue.org. And remember, if you'd like to keep us on the air, support our program by checking out our website at lmctv.org. Click the donate button in the upper right corner to make a contribution. We really appreciate any help. We always welcoming new volunteers and interns. We'd love to hear from you. Send those emails to the Local Live at lmctv.org and join our crew. Thanks so much for watching our show. That's all for tonight. Happy Valentine's Day. I'm Kat Galliano, and see you next week for another episode of the Local Live.